copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976 allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticisms, comments. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball Super, Dragon Ball GT, Dragon Ball Kai, Dragon Ball Xenoverse, Dragon Ball Online, and all other character names, logos, and distinctive likeness thereof are trademarks of Akira Toriyama, Toei Animation, Bird Studio, Shueisha, Funimation, Viz Media, Group AB, Glenat, Namco Bandai, Atari, and other respective license holders unmentioned. This video was not prepared, licensed, or endorsed by any entity involved in creating or producing the Dragon Ball series. It is an independent, unofficial work made by a fan, for fans, that has no connection to the official license holder and is created within fair use guidelines. Please enjoy the video.
How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be continuing the next episode of What If Damon Was Evil? Again, this one is a Patreon exclusive at the time of releasing this, so thank you to all of you for becoming patrons and helping to support me in this difficult financial time. It really means a lot. Anyways, let's not waste any more time and get back into this video. We last left off with me wishing to become a Saiyan. Now, there are easily better ways to become stronger in this universe. I could either wish to become a member of the Frieza race, become a half Saiyan, or anything like that. Though Shenron most likely wouldn't be able to make me a half Saiyan, since one has never existed. And while I could get a lot stronger if I became a Frost Demon, I know the kind of potential Saiyans have, and since they're the so-called main characters of Dragon Ball, they're more than likely to have the most potential and most power, even greater than a Golden Frieza transformation. Plus, it would be much less of a physical change. All that's different is I now have a tail. Shenron disappears and now I can finally improve far beyond my limits as a new Saiyan. I return back to King Piccolo and tell him I'm ready to train with him so the two of us can get even more powerful for any future threats. This is when I go inside the hyperbolic time chamber with Piccolo for us to begin our training. I know the potential Piccolo Jr. once had, so his father should have the same amount inside of him. Due to his ruthless fighting style as well, I can get far more powerful Zenkai boosts to improve my power and even exceed him in strength. As we keep up our training, the demons on Earth are still wreaking havoc, and I've hired on the Red Ribbon Army to do some dirty work while the demons can't. They can get all the resources they want in the world, and Dr. Gero can work on his android advancements much earlier. He's even able to reprogram Android 8 into following Red Ribbon orders, meaning we now have an evil Aider as well. This gives Piccolo and I a greater training partner, as with the potential of an android we can get more gains, due to Aider not tiring out like Piccolo or I would. I get multiple and gigantic Zenkai boosts, which push me to even more powerful than Piccolo. Piccolo doesn't get jealous, of course, as he sees this as a good motivation for himself to get even stronger as well. Adapting to my Saiyan nature isn't bad at all, as I'm already heavily into fighting and training, and I'm already not the nicest guy out there, so this new Saiyan body is much more of a blessing. The world is our training ground, with most of humanity being wiped out, other than those who joined the Red Ribbon Army to save themselves. With us having the whole world to train in, including the hyperbolic time chamber when necessary, we all get insanely powerful since we can go all out. Over these years, I practiced in my new Great Ape transformation, which took quite a while to get the hang of, but with the help of Piccolo and Aider, I can regain my consciousness and go on successful rampages every time. Of course, even with most of the heroes taken down for good, we still aren't without our oppositions. The greatest assassin, Tao Pai Pai, was hired to assassinate King Piccolo, and Piccolo takes care of him with only a glance in his direction. With Tao Pai Pai down, I walk over to him and say that I wonder if he's going to scream just like his brother did when I killed him so many years ago. Tao's eyes widen as I prepare another tri-beam and eradicate him out of existence. More challenges I am surprised to face are the likes of Garlic Jr. and Dr. Wheelo. Apparently, I've made it into a universe where the non-canonical villains exist. They are of course nothing to us, and even when Garlic Jr. managed to become immortal, Piccolo just beat him within an inch of his life, and sealed him away in a rice cooker to make sure he didn't try and overthrow us again. Dr. Wheelo then tried to overthrow us as well, and while his technology is impressive, and he wants to take over the body of the world's strongest, he's going to have a rough time with that. Surprisingly, he's able to prove trouble for King Piccolo and Ader, which I did not expect in the slightest. One swing towards me though, and he made a huge mistake. I fly up towards the sky and decide to use what I had Jiro create for me to my advantage. Taking inspiration from Dragon Ball Multiverse, I had Jiro create a small lamp contact lens that I can flick on and off in my eye that generates the Blitz Wave energy that I need to become a Great Ape. With this lamp activated, I transform into a Great Ape and absolutely stomp Wheelo into the dirt, ripping his gigantic brain right out from his head and squishing it into the dirt. With Wheelo out of the way, I give his robotic body over to Jiro, saying that this technology may prove useful with more of his android creations, and to use it well. With Earth pretty much successfully taken down and all of humanity gone, I have won in taking over this planet and eradicating all of the useless mortals that remain. Of course, with Earth conquered, that is only one obstacle hurdled over. Now, I need to aim for the greater universe as a whole. The beginning of that starts with Raditz making his way to this planet. Raditz is insanely proud of his brother for seemingly being able to take over the planet, and that it might sell well. That is when Piccolo, Ader, and I arrive on the scene and confront Raditz. Raditz asked who the hell we are, and I explain to him that his brother Kakarot is dead, and he was killed years ago by a much more powerful Saiyan than he was, or ever would have been. Raditz is shocked, one for realizing that his brother is dead, and two for the fact that there is another Saiyan out there who supposedly killed him. He asks who this Saiyan is, and I reveal my tale to him. I explain that I am a Saiyan prophet, who is here as well to take over this planet, and take over the entire universe. With all of us working together, we can take down Frieza, and be the new emperors of the universe. Raditz does like the sound of that, but asks if we really are powerful as we claim to be. We all laugh, and Ader appears behind him to one-shot him to the ground. Once Raditz comes to, I stand over him and say that Ader is actually the weakest of all of us. And if he can deal with a mighty Saiyan warrior like himself in one punch, then I'm pretty sure we can deal with what else is out in space. Raditz decides to bring us to where Vegeta and Nappa are, so that we can all group up and come up with the easiest way of taking down Frieza. We're not going in Raditz's puny ship though, as I was able to get Dr. Gero to create all of us a gravity ship that we can train in and get more powerful, and it can get us there much faster. All of us, me, Piccolo, Ader, and Raditz, enter the ship, leave the demons in charge, and go off-world to meet up with Vegeta and Nappa. On the way to the planet Vegeta and Nappa are currently on, I test out Raditz's strength against my own. And while he shows promise, it's still nothing more than what the rest of us can dish out. It's going to take us about 2 months to get there. So, in that time, I'm going to whip Raditz into shape. Over the course of these 2 months, Raditz is beaten to the edge of death every day, until he can finally land just a punch on us. Luckily, with all of his Zenkais, he's able to catch up to our power, and Piccolo's able to shape him up into a much better fighter with technique. Ader is of course a stamina test for the Saiyan, and since he is one, he's able to catch on pretty fast. And in the span of 2 months, he's a completely different person entirely. He could probably even defeat Vegeta now if he gave it his A-game. Helps that we're training in 100 times Earth gravity as well. By the time we make it to Vegeta and Nappa, the two are surprised to see how much more powerful Raditz has become. The weakling Raditz, he is no more. They ask how all of us managed to power him up so fast, and I tell them that Earthling technology is actually far more advanced than they say, and with it, even the most low class of Saiyans can actually make something of themselves. Especially this Namekian, who could most likely wipe the floor with these two without even trying. Vegeta takes great offense to that, and goes to show us what he's made of, but he stops in his tracks, unable to move. I'm able to hold him in place with my telekinetic abilities I learned from Piccolo, and slowly walk over to the Saiyan. I wrap my tail around his neck and begin to squeeze, choking him out. Nappa goes to help, but Piccolo lands on his back to hold him in place. I tell Vegeta that his arrogant attitude isn't going to help him with somebody like me. His powers are a joke compared to what I can do. He is nothing. That can change, however, if he gets his head out of his ass and is willing to follow along with a Saiyan that is stronger than him. Then he will get stronger than he could ever even imagine. Strong enough to wipe out Frieza with one finger. Vegeta weakly says that's impossible. I smile again. Is it? I let go of Vegeta and throw him directly on top of Nappa. Is it impossible? I'll show them impossible. I get into position and scream out, shaking the entire planet we are currently on. Even Piccolo and Ader begin to lose their footing because of my might. My hair raises up, and there's a bright light. Once the light dissipates, the others look in horror at what I've become. I have become the legendary Super Saiyan. I put my hands together in a tri-beam position and point them at the Saiyans. I tell them I've become the Saiyan of legend, and if I really wanted to, I could blow Frieza into nothingness. I want others to have a shot too. If these filthy excuses for warriors decide to work with me and train with me, I will let them achieve this form themselves and give them a shot at Frieza to make it fair. Vegeta says that he will work with me to get this form. He'll do anything. I laugh at the fear in his voice. It's adorable. I tell them to bow to their new master, and Vegeta glares daggers at me and has the audacity to ask, "What?" "Bow!" I scream, and Vegeta and Nappa grovel at my feet. I laugh some more, with Piccolo and Raditz staring in horror at me as well. They immediately look away once I glance over, and I tell them to get back into the ship. They obey my command, while I drag Vegeta and Nappa over to the ship as well. Once we are all settled, I tell Ader to set a course back to Earth. These Saiyans are going to need a lot more training, and even rougher conditions to get them to even Ginyu strength. Ader plugs in a destination, while I tell the two Saiyans that the ride back to Earth is going to be very, very fun. And with that, we're going to be leaving this episode right here. I really hope you guys enjoyed the next episode of What If Damon Was Evil. I had a lot of fun writing this part to show off what a madman at this version of me actually is, and what he's actually capable of. Next time, we're going to get into a very different Frieza saga, where we'll see if Frieza is going to be defeated or recruited. Hope you guys stick around to watch that. Anyways, thank you all so much for watching, and until we meet again, see you later!